Now let's talk about a couple of more elements that will help you to better separate your content, and those would be the quotations, preformatted text, and horizontal line. Now the quotations would be the block quote element and the Q element. The predefined, the preformatted text, sorry, would be the pre element, and the horizontal line will be single tag element, which is the horizontal line. Now the block quote is actually defining a long quotation. Basically, it's better to use it for quoting long paragraphs or big blocks of text, as you can see here. Now, sorry. Now this block of text, it's copy pasted, so it's the same one as this block of text. Now the only difference between of them is that this block is contained within the block quote. If we take a look behind the code, we can see the first one is between the block quote tag, okay, and the second one is outside of it. It's just basically unformatted. So the block quote, not only that it's actually inserting a space from the left side of the browser to the right, but it's also inserting a row above and a row below the quoted text. Of course, you can have a block quote within a block quote, and if we do something like this, we can take a look and see how it actually is gonna look like. So I'm going to do it like this. Now add it. Actually, I want to end it about here. Save it, go back and refresh, and there we go. As you can see, the new block quoted block of text, it's again indented from the left, but it's actually indented with the same amount of space as the first one. It's indented from the left side of the browser. So basically this size is exactly this one. This is pretty much it with the block quote. Now if we go forward to quotation, as you can see sorry, as you can see here, the quote is actually defining just a short quotation, so it's better to be used for just one single paragraph, a short one, or a couple of words. So the only difference between the block quote and quotation is that actually it's not just one difference. You can see it's a little bit more than just one difference. I'm sorry, I'm just I'm starting to get a cold, and my throat is a little bit sore, so I apologize. Well, guys, you can understand this, okay? Thanks. So I was saying the quotation is actually it's not inserting any indentation space from the left side of the browser, and it's not actually inserting no row above or below, but instead it's actually inserting this, as you can see here, two quotes at the end and at the beginning of the quoted text. If we go here inside the block quoted, and let's say we want to quote, okay, a couple of words, or just quote this entire line, Okay, I'm going to save it. I'm gonna go back and refresh, and there we go. You see, it actually quoted the text, added the two quotes, one of the beginning and one on the end of the quoted line. Now that's pretty much it. Also with the Q element, we can move forward to preformatted text. Now if we take a look at the pre element, we can see it's formed out of two tags. It's start tag, pre, an end tag, and the content between. Now this text is contained by the predefined preformatted text element, which is pre. Now you know that in XHTML and CSS, I'm sorry, in XHTML, if you have one continuous text with no formatting whatsoever, this text will flow from the left side to the right side end of the browser. So if I do this, you see the text is flowing, okay? But let's look now at the preformatted text and see what happens if I shrink any longer the browser. It actually disappears. That's because the preformatted text that is contained inside the pre element, it's retaining all its attributions. Basically, it retains the length of the row, the spaces between the words, the letters, and the spaces between the rows. So the text just disappears. If I'm going to enlarge it, now I'm going to see the text again. Let me revert back. Now if we go back to our code behind, as you can see here, I've just inserted some space between the words and enter it. If I'm just going to reformat it again, I'm just going to add some spaces here. Just going to save it, go back and refresh. You've seen? It retained a number of spaces. So this is the only element that it will permit you this kind of behavior. Well, this kind of element would be pretty good if you like to do things like this. Say 1 + 1 = 2. Then maybe I want to make 2 by 2 or 4. Okay, and I want to actually be spaced out, same type of row. Just going to refresh. Oops, something is wrong here. Now if I save it, it should be fine. No, it's not. I'm not sure why at this point. But if we're going to try again, no, it's not working. Well, this is funny. This is very funny. Yeah, that's because I have a lot of spaces there. That's why. Well, no matter. You've seen it. If you want to just delete everything. Whoa. This is nice. Well, we made it eventually. So it's not a very bad tag after all, but sometimes can be unpredictable. So you have to play around with the preformatted text until you get whatever you want inside it. But then again, I think you got the idea and you've seen what you can do with the preformatted text. It's a very nice one. You can insert it anywhere within the content, including inside the block quote, your quoted text, whatever you like. Okay. Now the last one that we're going to talk about would be the HR, which I said it actually is going to insert a single line, okay, in an XHTML page. Let's just insert one line. Let's see right about here and see what happens. Okay, save it and refresh. Now the instant I placed the hasher between this two line, actually at the end of this line and the beginning of the other, it actually inserted a full 100% line, because if I'm going to do something like this, the line will just resize by the width of the browser. Okay, and not only the fact that it's occupying 100%, but it's also it also broke the text and forced the text to go one row below. Now, of course, you may have a question: what if I want to specify a width or height or size on the hasher? Yes, of course you can. That's why I said the elements might have sometimes attributes, and for the hasher the attributes, let's say, will be size. Let's say size would be, let's say, 50%, because the size can be either within percent or pixels, but for now we'll just place it in percent. My bad. And refresh. Oh, I'm sorry, not size, width. Size is actually the height, but no problem, we'll just place it again. Width, my bad. 50%. Okay, and it looks like this. Looks kind of strange, is it? I just place 10. So now you can see what the size does in this context. But let's just place the size 1 for now. Let's say with it 50%. So that means in this case, when you're using percentage, it will calculate 50% of the entire width from the left to your right side of your browser. So if I'm going to resize it, the line as well, it will be resized at 50%. Of course, if I want to align it, something else, and the alignment can be left, you can see and refresh. It can be center, which is by default, and can be right. It's nice so far, okay? And as you can see here, actually I'm not sure you can see very well, but let's increase it to 2 units. As you can see, the hasher, the horizontal line, actually looks a little bit like a 3D. It looks like it's having a shade there, and actually it has. If we do not want that shade to be present, we can go back to the attributes and here, and we can say no shade. Actually, this attribute, it's also an attribute and a value, because there would be no point to actually do it like this. Alright, so the guys W3C thought, well, why not, let's do it like this. So there you go. It's an interesting one. Sometimes you can find a situation where the attribute is also a value. This is one of the cases. It's something new that you guys just learned. So I'm just going to save it. Let's go back and refresh it. And as you can see now, that shade is it's disappeared. You can see the difference between the this one and the one that's under. As you can see, this one has shade, the other one has no shade. So basically these are the attributes which I'm going to repeat. The attribute is this part, the value is this one, and the equal sign is the separation between the attribute and value, and the value is contained between double quotes. Okay, so the hasher has an align, left, right, or center. Just going to place left again. It has a width that can be in percent. Let's, if we want to increase it, save and refresh. Now it's 70%, or we can specify it in pixels. Let's just say 500 pixels. I want to be fixed. This one is going to be fixed. If I want to place, I don't know, 2000 pixels, which of course it will go well beyond, and of course we have to scroll to see it. Actually, we do not really want that. Just let's leave it 100%. And we have a size. As I said, it can be incremented, or if we do not use it, it's actually going to take the size of 1. But let's just leave it there for now. And we have a shade. In this case, now it's shaded, and with this attribute no shade, the shade is going to disappear. Of course, this shade always, this difference always, it's seen better when you have a bigger size than 1. So basically the thickness of the hasher. Now the reason actually these attributes are no longer used because as I explained in a previous lesson, they are also deprecated, like almost every attribute, and they are deprecated in favor of CSS. Basically we will be seeing something like let's just copy this one and just place it here. Again, save it so you can have 2 lines. And in the CSS you might have something like style with 70%. Oops, my bad. Save it. And it does pretty much the same thing. But the beauty of the CSS is that we will not have even this thing written here. We'll just have something that looks like a class, and then a name, hasher. Okay, save, and then this will disappear, and it will take whatever style is there to apply it. Basically the class, it's of course it's like an attribute with a value, and this value will be present in the CSS declared just one time, and then you can copy paste this class, and we can place this class as well here, and whatever it's declared in the CSS within this class, it will apply the same attributes and values everywhere. But at this point I think we're getting a little bit complicated, and we'll probably not understand very much. So I really like to ask for patience, because we will soon get into the CSS, and you'll see how beautiful is the CSS and how much you can gain out of it, and it will be absolutely awesome, trust me. So this would be pretty much everything at this point with quotations, preformated text, and hasher.